What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with another Warframe video. And in today's Warframe video, we're going to be taking a look at the boss on Mercury, known as Captain Vor. He's going to be one of the earliest bosses you will fight in the initial stages of Warframe. So if you're a new player and you're just getting through some of these initial planets, you will fight Captain Vor pretty soon if you haven't already. He's a fairly easy boss. He's between level 1 and 3. This is an assassination mission on the Tolstage sector on Mercury. So it's pretty easy to get this unlocked, and Captain Vor is actually fairly important early on because he can give you a couple of really good drops that will help you out a little bit, especially if you're trying to go the free-to-play route, if you're not really spending any platinum, if you're trying to get some weapons and items in the game without having to use the real money. Now, of course, you can build stuff with blueprints, but Captain Vor is going to drop two specific blueprints at this point, one for the Seer pistol, which is like an Auric and Grineer hybrid pistol, which is pretty cool. It's very high impact, fires some pretty neat little energy projectiles, and has really nice sniper level type zoom on it. He's also going to drop a blueprint for the Cronus melee sword, which is a very good melee weapon that you can use throughout the star chart in the game. So it's pretty neat, you know, that you can get some items from Captain Vor really early on, especially when he's in his easiest form. You will fight him later on in the game. When you unlock Phobos, he is actually part of a double boss fight you get to there, but we'll eventually get into that when you guys start progressing a little bit more through the game. Right now, I'm just trying to cover the basics and some of the starting stuff you're going to go through, and Captain Vor is one of those initial bosses, one of those initial boss fights. So this is an assassination mission. Like I said, you'll have to go through a little bit of the map first and kill off a bunch of Grineer as you're making your way to Captain Vor. You'll eventually come to him in sort of a large open room that you'll see later in this video, and you'll be able to sort of kite him around the room if you want, or you can fight him in one place. The biggest problem is going to be from a lot of the ads that come in. There's going to be a lot of Grineer soldiers that will come to help him out, and you'll have to take them out eventually, whittle them down a little bit as you go through. But Captain Vor is pretty easy. He's going to go through 3 different phases, which you'll see in the video if you guys keep on watching. You'll actually see Captain Vor. He starts off, he's pretty easy. You just have to take down his shields and then damage him a little bit. He'll actually go into a phase where he's invulnerable. He'll summon a bunch of Grineer troops to come and try to save him, and you just have to kill them off and wait till he comes out of that stage. In stage 2, he gets a little bit more offensive. He'll attack you a little bit more aggressively, and the same thing. You just got to whittle down his shields enough to where you can damage him, and then he'll go into another invulnerability phase. He'll summon a bunch more Grineer. You'll have to kill them off, and then eventually he'll get to his last phase when he sends out these little objects at you that are going to try to shoot you with this like Auric and lightning. And you just have to kind of stay out of their way, stay behind cover, run around the room a little bit to avoid those attacks, so they can drain your shields pretty quick. And he's not an easy boss, but he's not really that difficult either. So he's kind of medium. It's a good introduction for players into the kind of mechanics you're going to deal with later on in the game. I can tell you the first couple boss fights are pretty easy compared to some of the stuff you're going to see, especially when you get to like General Sargus Ruck. Or Sergeant Sargus Ruck, I think it is, on Saturn. I'm going to have a whole video on him and the frustrations I had while dealing with him the first couple of times later on when I get into some more of the further progression guides here. But for tonight, we're just looking at Captain Vor. Again, like I said, a boss you'll fight fairly early on as you have access to Mercury pretty early in the game. He's going to give you a nav component to unlock, another planet to let you progress a little bit further in the game. But definitely you want to farm Captain Vor at the start of the game because he's going to drop those items, like I said, the Seer pistol, the Cronus melee blade, and you're going to be able to get the parts for those probably within 4 or 5 fights with him. He should drop most of those, and you'll be able to craft those blueprints and give yourself 2 halfway decent weapon upgrades. They're not spectacular weapons by any means or any of the best weapons in the game, but they're very serviceable, especially at these early levels. If you want to save credits and not have to buy anything at the store, whether it's blueprints or even spending that platinum, you can get couple of decent weapons off of him fairly early on in the game. So here we are. We've actually made it to Captain Vor, so I'm going to let the video finish up here. You guys can see how this boss fight goes. Like I said, it's really not too terribly difficult as long as you've been leveling up your Warframe and have a decent primary like the Bratton I'm using here. You should be able to take him down with relative ease. And if he does teleport over to your platform and kind of gets up close and starts harassing you, you can run around the room. This is a very circular room he's in. It's got a lot of points you can run around to take cover and fight off these Grineer soldiers that are going to try to swarm in here. But just stay on the move and try to stay out of his range because he has some halfway decent attacks he can hit you with up close. But just pour some damage on him, force him into his invulnerability phase, wait for all the other veneer to get destroyed, and then he'll eventually pop out of that and you can damage him again. But you guys should be able to handle this boss fight fairly easily without too many issues and get yourself some halfway decent items in the process. Anyways, guys, if you have any other things you'd like to add, feel free to do so down below in the comments. I hope you guys are enjoying this initial Warframe series, some of these introductory guides to the early parts of the game. I'm trying to help you guys out so you maybe stick with the game a little bit longer, don't get as frustrated. I know this game can be pretty frustrating early on, especially since they don't tell you a whole lot. I'm putting out a lot of videos on kind of general basic guides for Warframe. So hope you guys are enjoying these. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again next time.
Assassination contract complete. Great work, Tenna. Watch yourself. Rainier are on the way. Alarms successfully hacked. The location is returning to normal security levels. They won't be bothering